Hey everybody. Hey Frosted Sentry if you're there. Hey Lammy. Welcome in. It's Friday. There is a lot to do. Not sure what we should start with exactly. So I wanted to make some foundational systems for the code base. And all we really have, do I even have this open? No, I don't. Godot mono here. Yeah, all we really have is this is a title screen thing. By the way, I added this. This is really stupid, but I put in a skull and a bag of money in the tags for the project so that I could spot this easily in the list. Now I don't need to look at the name. Yeah, so where we left off was just getting the project set up, and then Darkstorm submitted a PR. Yeah, so this is all we have. This is the entire game so far. Darkstorm submitted a PR that was for analyzers, formatting, and adding in a test project. So I don't think I have Visual Studio Code open. No, I do apparently. Okay, well, let's quit that and open this. Yeah. So I don't have any, oh, I do have an outstanding change. Oh, it auto formatted it. Oh, whoops. Okay, well, fine. Save auto formatting project.godot. This change has no functional impact. All right, yeah. Yeah, so I want to make an entity component system in Godot for, well, for pretty much everything that we have. The selling part of the game, the battling part of the game probably. And I wrote a prototype yesterday. I did this for a couple of different things. So this prototype has all of the foundational entity component system stuff. Hey, Mudkip. So we would pretty much just have to convert this to C#. I mean, I don't see this being too bad to do. So yeah, I guess let's just get started on that. All right, so let's go over to here, and we have source. Yeah, just source and then scene scripts. I'm gonna make a new folder here, and we'll call this ECS for entity component system. And then in here, we'll make a new file and call this, I guess, I don't know, ECS.cs. ECS, yes. Hey, Carlos. Got a lot of blue names in chat. In fact, only blue names in chat so far, other than mine. Oh, I don't know Lammy's name color. Oh, wow, another blue name. Hey, Robert. So the way I want to do this probably is going to involve generics. Like it won't just be a straight up conversion between GDScript. And in this case, we had a component base class. I don't even remember how you do any of this in C#, so I got to go refresh my C# memory. This is part of the problem I have every time I use C# is that I never remember any of it. And the last time I used it wasn't that long ago. All right, so let's just search for class. Public static partial class. So what is a partial class in C#? Is it something with a definition in multiple spots? Yeah, split definition into 2 or more source files. I see. Each source file contains a section or of the type. All parts are combined. Okay. Okay. Just curious. Found you from your video about the YouTube API. I'm in the same boat, trying to get an interactive YouTube live chatbot in spite of quota. It is possible, but like I said in the video, it does depend on either sacrificing the user experience or getting an increase to the quota. So like here's the YouTube part of the bot. And if I type the today command 2, 3, 4, it waits up to I think 4.5 seconds or something like that. And then it responds. And also because YouTube only allows 200 characters, it just redirects to a website where you can see the full command. So it's like there are a lot of little differences between here and Twitch. If you are streaming on Twitch, by the way, I'd say a lot of this stuff is just easier. Yeah, we'll consume your entire quota. Yeah, and you just keep kind of ratcheting it back until you find something that works for you. But yeah, welcome into the stream. Thanks for checking me out on here. Already have work on Twitch and Kick. Yeah. I haven't looked into Kick at all yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream there. Although I guess I could just have the stream running and just ignore everybody on Kick. I don't think that probably does anything for me though. Unless you get ad revenue or something on the platform. Yeah, so we want to make a class here. And let's just, I guess, copy all of this over to here. So our namespace, I think, has to match this more or less. But we don't have anything yet. This is in scene script. So we want game source ECS, I suppose. So something like this. And then I don't think we need any usings in here. And then public class, we'll say like component. And this doesn't need to inherit for anything. And I don't even think it needs a constructor. Maybe this can just be implicit. And then I don't think we need anything else in here. Not actually sure though. We'll probably see how this gets played out. Here we had a name. I think every component probably should have a name. Hey, yo. Yeah, maybe we do that. Let me take a look at how we did this over here. I forgot if you can put this directly into the constructor. I think you can. Although I guess none of this would actually tell us unless I do like a -C3. Yeah. All right, let's see. Do we ever do this? Is this a thing? I don't recall. I'll eventually get used to C# again, especially if we're doing this for like 6 months. What am I trying to do? I just want to see, is there any sort of like, could I type private int, foo in here and have this work? Because TypeScript has something like that. C# specify member variables in constructor. It's probably not a thing. In foo only. Yeah, so you can have parameters, right? But you can't specify it like you can in TypeScript. Okay, anyway, that's fine. All right, so we want a name, private string name. And then in here, I guess we'll take in the name, string name, this dot name equals name. Make field read only, sure. And then remove this unread private field name or refactor the code to use its value. I don't want to, I guess rename to this, yeah, sure. You can make them properties in the class. Are properties the whole get set thing? Is that what they call properties? Because I don't know the C# parlance. Yeah, it's getting set, yeah. Okay. Yeah, for now, I think this is probably fine. I'm not going to use it just yet, but let's see. So what component do we even need at first? Because I can make the system, but the system doesn't really help without having something to use it. And I wonder what it should be that uses it. Maybe we make a health component and we just have a character walk around that, I don't know, is losing health every second. Yeah, sure. I don't know. That sounds like a good enough start for me. So here's the code that we had for this. All right, so we're going to save this as health component. Actually, you know what? No, we won't. We'll make a new folder in here and call it components. And then we'll make a new file on there called health component.cs there. Okay, so now we're just going to paste in this entire thing over there. This is going to be in components. Did it? No, I didn't type that correctly. All right, this is a health component and it extends from component, and I don't remember how to do that. Apparently just a colon. And then we have a class or a constructor here that's going to take in, I guess, float max life and then save this off. And everything in the component should really just be public, in fact. Yeah, I think I'll just make this public. Field should be private. Okay, well then I guess we make a property for it. Make a property out of, that didn't work. Make a property out of name. I think it still had the word property in there. Wow, look at that. Great. All right, put it in. Insert into this. Yeah, sure, great. Okay, cool. Now we get rid of use auto property. Wonder what auto property is. Also, I probably should have pasted this in differently, huh? Remove its backing field. Yeah. Is this an autofix? Nice, it is. Oh, cool. Yeah, cool. I know that's what you were saying, Viewbot. Yeah. Is what you have, but you don't declare a variable to back it. Yeah, interesting. A constructor should not follow a property. Is this just an ordering thing? Use primary constructor. Whoa, yeah, there we go. Did not realize that was a thing. Cool. Neat. Yeah. Well, this is why I think having code analyzers and auto formatters is really important. Because it's like, let's say I'd never used C# for 10 years, but I was an expert at it a while ago. I would have just started coding things how it worked 10 years ago and then never found out about this stuff. And like, this is a pretty succinct way of doing things. So yeah, health component's going to work, I guess, pretty similarly. So let's go write health component here. And it's going to take in float max life. And then we're going to have this be a thing that we have here. Float max life equals max life. And then life is also going to be set to max life. Oh, those aren't strings though. Yeah. Float. There we go. Then this extends from component. And there's got to be a way to call this superclass here. There is no argument that corresponds to the required name of yeah, can I say like health for this? Does that work? It looks like it works. Elements should be separated by a blank line. Okay, cool. Hey, Goose. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. So this is our first component that we have. Component name should go in a constant somewhere. So maybe we make C# can have enumerations that are strings, right? I need these to be strings. String enum. Yeah, it looks like that's doable. Oh wait, you can't. They had to be integers. Okay. There are a few different ways we could do this. We could have like a component names dot health, something like that. We could have health component dot name. We could set this to this. In this case, I guess we should just do what's simple at first and not worry about this too much. I think having each file define its own is probably okay. So basically I just make a public static string name equals health, and then just set this here. Field should be private. That part is peculiar to me. Can I say like const string? It still says it should be, cannot be marked static. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm assuming then that I could use something like this. All right, so let's start with that. Yeah, const is static. Let's start with that, and then what do I want to do from there? So we just save off your health here, and then we have like a take damage function. I'm not even gonna code that yet until we really need it. So there's our foundational thing. Now we need the part that's gonna put this into a Godot component. Is almost the same as static read only? I got you. Yeah. All right, so right now we have pure C# components, and the only way for these to work in Godot for us is for them to be stored somewhere. And I did this in this prototype that I have here. The way it worked for me is I had an add component, which then would put it into the scene tree under the components child. And if that didn't exist, it would create it. Easy to go from enums to strings and vice versa in C#. I need the component name to be a string because it's going to end up in the scene tree with that name. Although actually, I never accounted for having multiple components, did I? Might need to do that. Consider what happens if you have multiples of a component. Thought you wanted the string stored in a file. No. No, and I'm actually debating on whether I even want to do this. I want to think about this because this is slightly different from what I had originally. So the entity component system that we have components are pure C#, classes almost entirely for data. Then we need some way for a Godot node to have these components. And there are two ways, as far as I can tell. So one is cram the component into a Godot node. And option number two is have a well-known Godot node that stores them all in memory. Now, there are pros and cons to doing this. This will show in the scene tree. It shouldn't really have a performance impact, but it'll be clear what exists at runtime. And I'll show what I'm talking about here. If I go into this ECS prototype that I made and we just hit the play button. Come on. So this is a really simple, quote unquote game I made yesterday. This is not really a game. This skeleton just moves to these little coin things. When it gets hit by a slime, it turns invincible and it takes 1 damage. And when it dies, it teleports. And the slime is just always chasing this. This was just a demo to see if I could get the entity component system to look decent enough. So the way this looks inside the game is this skeleton has components and the slime has components. And they actually show in the scene tree. So here you can see when it gets invincibility because you'll see it get added right there. So this is kind of nice to be able to see all this right here. Because if you couldn't do that, I guess you'd have to have it showing in the inspector when you click components. So I think I want to keep them in the scene tree, but honestly, where they get stored shouldn't really matter. I think I need to change my development philosophy here. When I was prototyping, I was like, cut all corners, and this decision wouldn't matter. We would just do something. I think for the final code, we need to like do what makes sense at the time with the requirements we have, and then make that code look good. I think this should be the development philosophy. Did I switch from GDScript to C#? Yeah, I did. Also, hi. Okay, so I want to do that, and I want to write this as development philosophy. What are the most significant differences and benefits? Is this, did you mean to reply to Carlos with that? Carlos just said the word colors. Between asynchronous programming using async and await and traditional synchronous programming in C#. I mean, I think this all comes down to is what you're doing something that's asynchronous? Because if it's synchronous, you don't need async and await. So like if you're downloading a file from the internet, you can't guarantee that's going to happen instantaneously. So you need to await that call. But I don't consider it to be differences in benefits so much as like you either have to do it or you don't have to do it. But yeah, maybe there's more to this. What was I getting? Oh yeah, the design document. I want to write this in here. Okay, so prototype new systems the same way I did for idle ascendance. Code quickly and sloppily so we can test the system. So yeah, I think general code quality is exactly this. Do what makes sense at the time with the requirements we have, and then make that code look good. In other words, don't future-proof the code, or yeah, by allowing for predicted requirements that aren't actually concrete. E.g., we didn't plan for a space shooter inside this game. So I don't know, that's kind of a dumb example. I think this is pretty important though. Will one day downloading a file be as fast as a programming language? I don't think that question makes sense. So I'm not sure if there's a language barrier here or if this is like, I don't know. Yeah. So as far as doing what makes sense at the time, I think this is pretty good. Putting it into a Godot node. So we're going to put it in a bunch of functions here. Almost all of this is going to be public static functions. So public static void function. I don't actually remember how you write a function in C#. Let's just call this test and see if this works. Property or indexer cannot have one. I honestly don't remember. It's private void. Yeah. So what am I doing wrong here? Oh, I forgot parentheses. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's all we need. All right, so we're going to add in the same things I had over here. So we need a way to add a component and we need a way to remove a component, but I never allowed for multiple components, right? So here we make a new node called components, add it in, and then when we add the component into that, we're not changing its name. I think this will be a problem. So we don't have a need for 2 health components, for example. That's not a problem though. But maybe we need something like, I don't know, imagine there's like a smoke particles component or something like that. You might have multiple smoke particles components. And the problem is that in Godot, you can only have unique child names for these. So we'd have to call this like smoke particles and smoke particles 2, for example. But then we need a way of associating which one's which. Oh, Canhorn, thanks for resubing. Welcome back. Hey, Atomic Man. Won't Godot auto-name them with numbers on duplicate? I'm not sure, because every once in a while I see something like this happening. These are coins, and only one of them got the name coin, and the other one's got the name static body 2D, and then some number afterward. So, yeah, I don't know why that's happening. Yeah, because like coin has the name coin in it, and clearly one of them got that. Yeah. But that's one part of the problem is naming, and the naming thing is easy enough to fix. But then when it comes to removing a component, right now, we're removing all components of a particular type. I guess if we wanted to remove a specific component, we would just pass in the component and then see which one of these has the underlying component. Yeah, okay, that would be fine. Yeah, I don't see much of a problem there. All right, so let's recode these functions then. So I'm going to copy paste this into here, just so that we can see it side by side. In fact, actually copy pasting it doesn't really make sense. Let's just click this button. Oops, that didn't work. There we go. All right, and then make this GD script, I guess. Cool. All right, so we're going to make an add component, and this is going to take in an entity. Ooh, actually, wait a second. Why did I put this here? Oh, darn it. Why did I put this here? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, undo. ECS shouldn't contain component. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. I think we should have put it in the component folder, component.cs, or even call this base component or something. But yeah, so we just put this over to here and then add in a dot components. There we go. And then ECS can be a class called ECS, does not take in anything and just has these static functions that we want. Rename class ECS to match Pascal case. Consider using ECS. Okay, fine. Add a nested comment explaining why this is empty. Okay, that's not a problem because we're not going to actually... Type is a static holder type, but is neither static nor non-inheritable. Oh, you can make static classes. Static classes cannot have instance constructors. Hey, we got there in the end. So do I need to say that this is static? Or does it just assume that everything's static if I do this? Cannot declare instance members. And no, you do have to put static there. Okay, fine. Should test be ignored? Hexada, I'm not sure what you're asking. Is it in this case? Because this is just me not having written the real thing. Like this should be called add component or something. I just haven't finished typing this out. And is Skeleseller the idle game or a new prototype? So it is the idle game that has evolved into this. And I've got a little bit of an explanation there. I think the best way to show this quickly is with a very raw looking mock-up. Okay, here's part of it. Let me turn off dark reader so you can see this in the right colors. Okay, so this is going to be like your shop area. And your shop will have display cases with items that you're selling, and NPCs will come by with a certain amount of money and they want to buy something and they go and buy stuff, right? But then at the bottom of the screen, where is that? Yeah. At the bottom of the screen, you'll have the battles from the prototype. So like your town view takes up the top part, and then you see these battles in the bottom part. I might have a mock-up of that, but it wouldn't look very good even if I had one. Yeah. So that's the general overview of this. So add component needs to take in an entity, which is a node 2D, and a component, which is a component. And this is not how you write any of this stuff. Component. All right, looks good. So now we need to get the components node. So can I write a const here? Const string foo equals bar. Does that work? A namespace cannot directly contain... No, it can't. Okay, so I guess we put this here then. Accessibility modifiers required. This can be private. I don't know. It could be public as well. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to call this component node name. Now it's probably complaining about what? Unused. Yeah, that's one thing. And then it might also complain about casing or something. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Exata. I think you should start Googling some of your questions. All right, so in this case, we're going to do the same thing that we had here. Get node, node2d, component node name. Yeah, and then if that doesn't exist, then add it. Is this how you make new classes? Also, should this even be a node2d? No, it should be a node. Yeah, node. And let's search for new space dots, or no, /w plus parenthesis. Yeah, so did we ever make a new node in here? We didn't. That's kind of funny. So we never did something with like sprite 2D or whatever? Get node sprite 2D. Okay. Yeah, I don't exactly know how you do this, but I guess we'll find out. Why is this a problem? Oh, using Godot, sure. Okay, so try to get the components node. If it's null, make a new one, add it. I guess give it a name too. That's pretty important. And then add it to a group of all entities. I don't think we need that yet either. Okay, then add the component. And then add ourselves to a group of having that component. Add to group. Okay, so now this part's going to be a little bit more difficult. This is going to be something like component group name. No, this is dumb. This should be private. We're going to call this... We're not going to do this. We're going to make another function. Public static string get component group name string component name. Yeah, and this is just going to return a formatted string. How do you format strings? Is that a function? String doesn't exist, lowercase. I don't know. C# format string. What is Skeleseller? Yeah, check out the FAQ there. And if that doesn't answer one of your questions, please do let me know because I am still kind of forming that. What is this system? Oh, string.format. Wait, what? Oh, it's capitalized. This is capitalized. And then what is this going to say? Use expression body? Okay, sure. So this is going to be something like has %s component. Yeah. And now we can consolidate this. The format string might be wrong. Following arguments are unused. Component name. What? How'd I mess that up? Is it not %s? Where's any example? Oh, it's some other syntax. So how do we do this? C# format string SSO. Oh, it's literally just like a curly brace 0. Okay, that should be fine. Oh, so it's not hard. Okay, now what do we have here? Object initialization can be simplified. Oh, it's just new, I believe. No, wait, what? Whoa, man. C# is nuts. Use trailing comma. Okay. Closing brace should be followed by a blank line. All right, what's next? Type or namespace component could not be found. Probably need a using reference here. Using game components. Cool. Argument cannot convert from this to this. Yeah, so we need a special components node that can hold... Oh, man. Yeah, we need a special components node. Moonscript is a little concerning. You can just name actors like that. Hey, Broken Crown. What do you think about the future of Java? Will it regain its position in the market with new updates and be able to be used more widely? I don't know too much about Java as like an industry force right now. I think what I would probably use to help determine that is the Stack Overflow dev surveys and just see what's happening in the market. So this one was the one from 2023. And these are always a little bit hard to find exactly what you want. But I'd probably go here and look at like, where is it? Languages, programming, scripting. Probably this one. And then take a look. And Java is, I don't even see it. Oh, I missed it. It was toward the top. There it was. No. Where'd that go? I lost it. Yeah, there it is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's number 10 right now. And you can see desired and admired on here. If you were to go back to previous years, you could kind of just trace, is it going up or is it going down? So I'd kind of base everything on that. Because it doesn't really matter. Java could be the greatest language in the world, for example. And if people aren't using it, people aren't using it. Now, I still think the JVM is going to be very important for many, many applications for many years to come. And just other languages targeting the JVM might be getting more popular. So, yeah. Does it not do all this formatting for you? It might. I want to understand what some of these are and then maybe eventually just kind of auto fix them. Are inline errors the default? No, there's something called error lens that I use. Error lens. You can do has component. Oh, really? That's pretty nice. That's kind of like TypeScript. Thanks, Mystic Soda. Yeah. So now just delete this. Invalid string can only be followed by a digit or opening curly brace. Oh. I think this is just a linting rule, though. Introduce constant add argument name format. What? Convert to interpolated. Oh, you need... I'm not sure I follow. Let me look this up. C# string dot format. Did I try GitHub Copilot with Godot? Yeah, and it's not bad. Although it seems to be using a lot of examples from Godot 3. String dot format, interpolation. I only removed some of the string dot format. Yeah, I probably messed something up here. I don't actually see what's wrong here, though. Let's look at this. Yeah, there needs to be a $sign at the beginning, I guess. Yeah, that works. Okay, yeah, $sign. It's not idle ascendance is no more. It's more like it evolved into this game. And I was just kind of talking about this earlier. Idle ascendance was pretty much just the battle system. So if we go to the game over here, wait for this. Okay, so it was, moving around on an overworld, which people weren't exactly fond of. And then getting into battles. There was manual control at first, which again, people weren't super fond of. But then that's it. That's the whole system. You've now seen pretty much the entire game. There's just a skill tree on top of that. So the problem that I think this had is that like this wasn't enough for people to be watching or pay attention to or care about. Oh, you're saying I don't even need string dot format. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's definitely much cleaner. Very nice. I should probably be writing some of these things down. Yeah. But I guess we'll have the code as a reference point for this. Okay, so now we need a component holder. And I don't know where we should put this in terms of location. Maybe we call it like component node. I'm gonna just put it in here. Yeah, I'll call it component node. All right, so this is gonna be component node, and it's gonna take in a component. And then we have the component here. All right, so that should work, right? Why is this a problem? Cannot convert to string. Oh, whoops. There. All right, now this needs to be a node type or namespace node cannot be found. Yeah, we need to do using Godot. Oh, that might not work. Partial declaration that derives from this. Partial modifier. I guess we have to say it's a public partial class, although I don't totally understand why. Does the error tell me why? Yeah, I don't think I understand that. Maybe because of how Godot works, that it's going to define something for me in the engine half of this or something, and I need to define the other part. It's got to be something like that. Otherwise, I don't know why partial would be needed. All right, so now what? Oh, we have a node that contains this thing. I think that's it. So now instead of this, our components node, I guess that can just be a node. But then we need to wrap this inside of a component node, which is probably gonna be super confusing. So let's at least write the code and we can make this a little bit cleaner. And then add this to group, get component group name, component name. All right, now let's simplify everything. Let's just have it auto fix everything. Fix all, fixable. It fixed nothing. Nothing. What? But it had like auto fixers for this stuff, right? In externally visible method, add component, validate parameter entity is non-null before using it. Okay, well, we could do a couple things here. I think we can say not null. Does that work? I think that works. And I'd have to use one of these. Alternatively, we could just handle what happens when it's null. And I think we'll just do that in this case. So if it is null, then we just don't do anything. If entity equals null, then just return. Okay, follow that by a blank line. So that's fixed now. Next, call dispose on object created by new node before all reference to it are out of scope. That is strange. I think Godot handles this, doesn't it? CA2000. Do people... Ownership is transferred. Having the container or collection object that adds a disposable object implement I collection. I'm not actually sure if this is a problem. Like, I think Godot might dispose this. Is node something that is considered disposable? Public unsafe node? Isn't class node have to, yeah, Godot object? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I want to look this up. I want to look this up in the context of Godot, though. Dispose should free this. Godot engine. I disposable and free. Yeah, what's going on here? Just calls to another dispose. If you never free the objects, Godot engine will try to free them for you when the reference count is 0. Yeah. Right. So in this case, I don't think I actually care about this, but I think that in pretty much all the cases where I make a new node, I won't care about this. So we could suppress the warning here. I hate this menu because there's so many choices. I want to suppress it just on this line. Does that do it? Yeah, that does it, but it's ugly. All right, now what? New expression can be simplified. What, this is just like new component? There's no quick fix? Introduce local? New expression can be simplified. I'm surprised it doesn't do this. I think you can just do it this way. And then call dispose again. Oh my God. Okay, so then I guess we need to put this down here. Yeah, and then an externally visible method, validate parameter component is not null before using it. So if entity is null or component is null, I guess. All right, we wrote a function. That took a long time. So now I'd like to be able to test this out. So we have the title screen, and let's go make a character in the game. Well, character, I mean, it's not really going to be a character. It's just going to be this thing in here. So let's throw this here. And then it's called icon. So now let's get the icon. Get node sprite 2D icon dot var. Does this work in, no, it doesn't. Ooh, it'd be cool if that worked. That was a thing that worked in JetBrains where you could say, I want to save this as a variable, and then just press enter and it would do that. All right, well, fine. We can just write this out. Sprite 2D sprite equals this, and then sprite, oh, no, ECS dot add component. So I want to add a new health component, and we'll just set it to, I don't know, 10.0. So something with 10 life. Cannot convert from health component to component. That means that I probably did not inherit correctly. Type or namespace cannot be found. Oh yeah, because I moved it. That's not right. There. Now try and tell me I'm wrong. That's right, code. You can't. All right, so now when we run this, we should see the icon gets a health component in it. Icon does not have a health component in it. Uh-oh. I wonder if it couldn't find the sprite. Let's just debug this. Stop this. How do we debug F5? Is this working? Looks like it's working. This code didn't even get hit? That's not possible. Wait, the breakpoint is disabled. To allow this to be hit, add require exact source false. Why would the source not match? Do I need to rebuild from here? Then press F5. Errors exist? What are the errors? Type name ECS conflicts in whole or in part with the namespace of this. Change either name to eliminate the conflict. What? They're different cases. Why would that conflict? Is that a rule in C#? Why is Chrome's not working? Okay, there it goes. All right, the type name conflicts with the namespace name. Is this a casing thing? Oh, maybe it's because of component? Although that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like it's just this that's a problem. What do I call this, ECS2? It still says the type name conflicts, but I probably just need to rebuild now. It's going to break in a different spot, but I want to see if this error goes away. Error, name does not exist. Yeah. So if I now search for that, not that one, ECS dot, this one. So now this would be ECS2. And then possibly we need to, no, that's it. Okay, now we rebuild. I want to figure out how we're supposed to kind of properly fix this. Did it build? I think it built. Yeah, okay, now we try debugging. This still isn't working. What? I don't think I had to do anything special for this last time. Oh man, come on. Okay, what if we put this higher up? The name thingy was a warning, not an error. Yeah, I might need to just disable that, I guess. Thanks for telling me, Nui. Yeah, this sucks. Okay, I got to do this, I suppose. Require exact source false. I don't think I did this over in Jump Royale, though. Is there a VS Code folder here? Yeah, cd.vscode, cat launch.json. Yeah, there's no require exact source false here. Somehow this worked over there and it's not working over here. Is there any difference? Name, type, I probably just copy pasted it. Nope, looks pretty much the same. Huh. What is the problem then? Okay, I'm gonna try my, random .NET magic here. We're just gonna clean and restore. I don't actually know what this does, and I should probably find out at some point. I don't also think that that's really gonna help, but let's try. And if that doesn't, then we'll start looking up error messages. It did not. Okay. Could it be something to do with .NET versions? It totally could be, yes. How was that? I forgot to edit launch to change the binary path of .NET Core app. Is that even in launch? I don't see anything here. I see this version, I guess, but I don't think that corresponds to the .NET thing. But you're probably right, yo. Well, let's look up that error message. Force the current folder to use a specific .NET version by using a global.json file. Do I have one of those already? No. I'm not sure what it would be trying to use or how to even tell. Maybe in here it says something. 4.2.2 official. That's Godot's version. .NET. It looks like 8.0.4. Hmm. .NET version in the folder should tell you what version you need to use. Okay, let me see. .NET version. And then .NET new global JSON. I wonder if that's just all I need and now it's just going to work. I think there's still an issue here. Yeah, it's still the same problem. Add require exact source. Source code is different from the original warning or the original version. Okay, let me keep looking at this. It just sets the current version. You'd set that to a previous version. Okay, got you, Blob. Yeah, let me think about that. Well, I guess part of the issue is I'm not sure. How do I even .NET list? Whoops. Is it SDKs? Yeah, list SDKs. I just had the one. Ferret, thanks for resummon. Yeah, I only have the one, so that's all I can use, right? Global is pointing at that one now. Oh, Darkstorm, thank you too for resummon. Welcome back. All right, I want to search for this because yeah, I'm probably doing something wrong here. And I wonder if we can find this like specifically for Godot, because maybe there's some. Nope, we can't. Can Godot use that version? That is the latest. I don't know how to check that, but I assume it's coming from like the solution file, probably. Is there something about an SDK in here or the number 8 in the context of this? Or maybe the CS proj file for the game? This says just .NET 8.0. What am I using? 8.0, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Debugging issues? Yeah, debugging issues. I'm trying to set a breakpoint here. When I hover over it, it says the source code is different from the original version. Godot docs say they have to use .NET 6. Do you mind sharing the reference of that? Everyone can type links in chat, so it should be fine. Because that'd probably be annoying. Godot C# SDK. In Godot, it's implemented with .NET 6, yeah. Is that the problem though? And won't I lose like a million features if I go from .NET 8 to .NET 6? You had no issues with debugging? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Mostly performance improvements. Well, all right, let's try that then. I don't want to keep this, but what if we just set this to 6 and then rebuild .NET build? Yeah, I might be able to get rid of, ooh, what's this? Feature primary constructor is not available. No, we're losing things. Well, all right, let's try one other way before we do this, which is what if we did what it's suggesting? It says in launch, say require exact source false and restart debugging. So we go to launch, we change require exact source to be false, and then I don't want that to save like that. And then we just restart the debugger. This might do some bad things for us, but let's see. It's still not breaking in. No executable code of the debugger's target code type is associated with this line. Conditional compilation, compiler optimizations, or the target architecture of this line is not supported by the current debugger code type. Can I copy this message? Yeah. Oh man, if I can't debug this, we're going to have a big problem. Compile with -02 or -03. Usually means you didn't build the current source. But shouldn't that should be a prerequisite of even debugging because it says pre-launch task is build. I mean, I can run rebuild manually, I suppose. Is this pushed? I check on my end. It's not pushed yet. But I assume if I were to just stash this and try debugging even the original code that was there, that even that wouldn't work. I should probably verify that. But give me a sec. Let me try this one more time. Yeah, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so then let's stash this. So git status. Oh man. All right, I guess let's also delete global.json. Although that shouldn't even be here, right? Was there? Can it handle open worlds? I think all of this comes down to what parts of Godot you're using. So if you're just using the rendering in Godot, you could always kind of, I don't know, write your own systems on top of this to dynamically load in chunks of a map. But out of the box, it's probably not going to do that for you. But yeah, all depends on how you set things up. What was I going to do? I was going to stash this stuff, right? Oops. Git stash. Okay, good. So now we just have the original code. And if I set a breakpoint here and try to run this, does this work? Oops, there's no breakpoint. There we go. Already having the CS project. I see. Yeah, no, it's not working. Okay, so Darkstorm, what's pushed is already not working for me. And that's too bad, huh? Oh man. It was working for Jump Royale. I wonder what's different. Right? I think it was working for Jump Royale. I'm pretty sure it was. ls.vs code. I already looked at launch. That was exactly the same. So I guess let's look at the solution file. star.sln. I don't think there's anything special there. So then I think it would just be the CS proj file. Cat star CS proj. .NET 8. And yeah, everything else should pretty much be the same. It says symbols load was disabled. Let me try this inside of Jump Royale and see what happens because maybe it'll work over here. Let's go to Arena and just set a breakpoint in some random spot in the ready part over here. Yeah, let me just F5 this now. Is it going to break in? Yeah, it broke in over here. Okay, so it's working here. So we have a working case. Does this also say that it couldn't load symbols? Symbol loading disabled. Yeah. So I don't think that's problematic. Although thank you for pointing that out, ABC, because it might have been. So we know it's working in Jump Royale and it's not working over in Skeleseller. What else could be different though? Let's load up this CS proj file. S Jump Royale. I wanted this in a different, whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's just compare this with clipboard. All right, so here are the only differences. Let's get rid of this thing. All right, root namespace doesn't matter. User secrets ID doesn't matter. The target framework definitely would matter, but I shouldn't match these conditions, so that shouldn't matter anymore. User secrets isn't there, that's okay. C# analyzer is now a higher version, and I don't need TwitchLib. Okay, so the CS project files are pretty much the same. Hey, Dan. Could I check the project type? I think the project types are the same. At least there's nothing in the CS proj file about this. Oh, I just did. Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. I don't think the solution would have anything in it that's different. What else even comes into play here? What other JSON files are there here? Just tasks? Maybe this is using the wrong thing. What do we have in Jump Royale for this? Launch settings? I don't think I have a launch settings. VS Code, and let's cat tasks.json. Okay, so is there any difference here? No, no difference here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what else could even be happening here? Like, was there something special about this? Another public partial class? Yeah, true. I'm not sure. The only other thing I could kind of think of is that maybe there's something in the project settings that would be different. We could, I guess, go look at the project settings. Where's the project? Jump Royale. S project Godot. Okay, so here's the Jump Royale project. And then here's the Skeleseller one. Okay, so I guess, well, we have 82 lines to look through here. What is the syntax highlighting of this? Does it say somewhere? Any. Okay, yeah, so M any. There. All right, anything that might point to a problem here? These are just control configurations. No, I don't think so. Also, we should probably enable this inside of the new game. I'm gonna write that down. Probably enable. Wow. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Is there some way we could like restart from the beginning here? Would it even do anything? Deploy with remote debug? What does that do? It's flashing too quickly for me to tell. Let's just click it. I don't think they did it. Oh no, that's just a check mark. Okay. What's the issue? The issue is that if I set a breakpoint here and then debug this, that the breakpoint doesn't get hit, and then it says to allow this breakpoint to be hit, add require exact source. But then when I add require exact source, it says another large error name. Where was it? Yeah, it says this error. No executable code of the debugger's target code type is associated with this line. Possible causes include conditional compilation, compiler optimizations, or target architecture. This line is not supported. What is auto attach with flag? Was that a thing you saw in Godot? I don't know what you're asking about. On the bottom of VS Code. Oh, this? I think this is a node thing. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's just if you pass in dash dash inspect to node, if it'll start debugging it. All right, any other things that we could see here that might be different? Like, here was the output when this worked. So I'm going to copy this. Whoops. Working with Jump Royale. And then this is the broken stuff. Broken with Skeleseller. And let's just compare these two things. Compare with this. All right, any major differences? Just a warning. This was in the Jump Royale side, though. And literally everything else is the same. Okay, so the output's the same. I don't know. Yeah, let's see. Godot can't debug. C# require exact source. Debugging not working. You're referring to Mac only here, but it's working on Mac in the other project. Full debugging support. Download it to a different folder and see if the same thing goes wrong. I haven't, no. And that's not a bad idea because I really can't see a difference. Have I restarted VS Code? No, let me do that too. All right, let's close out of this and let's see. Do I need to save anything here? Not that. Not that. No, no. Maybe that error message would be good, but we can always get it back. Those things shouldn't matter. Yeah, cool. Okay, so then let's close this. All right, so VS Code should be totally closed. I'm not sure why it thinks it's still open. Is there a VS Code window right now? I guess I just need to quit. Yeah, okay. So let's quit this thing. And then let's go reopen it. Let's go back to the title screen. Let's press F5 over here. No, it still didn't work. Let's keep searching. You said also not working for me. Wait, you're saying you also can't debug this project then? Or at least put a breakpoint there? So this isn't just a Mac issue, at least. The OBJ and bin folders. It disappears for you. Where are those folders? Oh, there it is. What is that part of? Oh, it's in tests. I guess I don't even have one here. Unless it's adding everything to test. Game/Godot. Oh, it's in a... I see. Yeah, these. Mono/temp. Okay. Mono temp. Just delete that and try again, I suppose. Cannot instance script because the associated class cannot be found. Make sure the script exists. This is probably due to me just destroying that folder. I probably need to rebuild or something. I think it's done. No, this is still failing. I wonder if .NET restore is needed. Or maybe restarting Godot. Maybe Godot thinks that it's got a cache and I just deleted it out from under it. Man. I'm now so far removed from the task I was originally trying to do. But this is rather unfortunate. Yeah, I'm now getting this cannot instance script. I guess we could just go back into this folder and, oh, I did get these things back in here. And the script it can't find is title screen.cs. Make sure the script exists and contains a class definition. Wow, weird. Weird. I don't know. Does .NET Clean get rid of that folder? No. All right, well, I should take a break. I'm like 6 minutes late for my break. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You should bind a rebuild task. Yeah, I've just been running it manually for right now, but I still can't even get this to work. When you start debugging, it does not rebuild. I mean, we could just do that more easily, right? I could just say rebuild here. Or is that not? I guess this is a .NET command and rebuild isn't a .NET command. Why is this not working? Is it included in the project file? It should be, yeah. Yeah, it's not. Okay, well, how about this? I'll take my break. When we come back, we'll continue trying to figure this out. All right, is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey again. Hey, Quickie Joe. I gave you the artist tag on Twitch, by the way. Close the game. Speaking of Quickie Joe and art, why did that not work? Close the game. Uh-oh, something's wrong. What is this getting? It's not hearing me say close. Close the game. There it goes. All right. Yeah, so speaking of Quickie Joe and art, check this out. So the original logo is here. And my little piece of feedback was I think the skull is a little bit too spooky for the game. I think I wanted a more lighthearted feel. So if you were to number these logos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that the original is 1 and the newest, the bottom rightmost one is 6. What are everyone's votes? And you can feel free to vote for multiple if you want to do like 6 to 4, whatever, to 2 or something like that. I'm just curious. And I shared my opinions. I think Quickie Joe is already coloring one of them. So, to some extent, I just kind of want to get some feedback here. So 4, 4, 2, 2 and then 5, 2 or 4, 5 and 6, 2 or 6. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like them. I like them all. And I think if we were to make this like a darker game, this first one would have been perfect. But I think we would have needed to like lean into the darker atmosphere of that. 5 makes you think of Rick and Morty Surprise Days, probably because of how the lower part of the face is done. I think it looks very Rick and Morty-esque with how they draw their lips. Yeah, so I think 6 was my favorite. And then I think 5 didn't feel like the right fit for me. But yeah, I liked all the other ones. But yeah, it seems like people are mostly voting for 2 or 6. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, Quickie Joe, do with that what you will. So, you know, I'm I'm fine with really any of these, I think. Yeah, I think my favorites though were like 6, 3, and 2. The squarish look of the letters match the head well on 6. Yeah. I also just like the look of 6. It's like cutesy without being cute. That's kind of how I look at it. But yeah, excellent work. I agree. I think it's great. Also, like super quick turnaround time on even just getting this out. Quickie Joe has a lot going on, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna make some logos. So I'll take it. So there we go. I'll just leave this here as like new logos or new logo. And then these were the graphics I think we were kind of leaning toward replacing the Oryx ones with. I haven't looked at this stuff yet, so I don't know if they have animation frames for some of these things, and it's like a pack of a whole bunch of things. So I think it's like $60 for every, or $50 for everything. And I like the look of this. I think this is great. I think this would work very, very well. And there are some shops. So yeah, can edit any of those too. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to be careful with how much editing is required. So for example, if we wanted animations on every single character, that's quite a lot. If they already had some idle animations or something, and then we were like, you know what, let's just have the skeleton have more animations. I don't think that's so bad. But yeah, I want to be careful that we're not like, let's go make 700 sprites from scratch. And yeah, I think that would be a lot tougher. But yeah, so we might end up using these graphics. I got to look into them more. Can't see anything off. Must be another random small issue. Yeah, which is, I guess, unfortunate. Also, I guess this kind of destroys the let's try in a random new folder, because if it's not working on Darkstorm's computer as well, then presumably that problem would have been ironed out over there. And now I'm hitting a different issue because I deleted those folders where it's saying this cannot instance script. I wonder if just saving this would maybe work and then rerunning this. What did that just do? Oh, well, it did work. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I don't know what to do. Does it have an issue with you having Jump Royale open at the same time? It's it's not open right now, although I guess this is open. Oh, you know what? Maybe that is the problem. Maybe it's because I had something else running here. And there might be like one debugger interface or something, even though it's a different version of the editor. Although Darkstorm would also need to be hitting that same problem. No, it doesn't look like that's the issue. Although I could also close this version of Godot. I guess we could do that. You know what? Let's just close everything. Is that gonna quit? Yeah, good. Okay. You haven't updated your editor though. Why is he using .NET 8.04? I'm not sure. And that could be the problem here. But with Jump Royale, it was also using that. And it worked in Jump Royale. I need the Godot project open for the LSP, yeah. But I don't plan on keeping it closed for good. I just wanted to try for now. Yeah, like if I open up this and I just press F5, so see this? It broke in correctly. And now here we are, and we can start inspecting elements of these things. Well, probably somehow. Actually, wait a second. Now that I think about it, how can we start? Can we type things like this? Yeah, okay, that does work. Yeah, so we can inspect values here. We could step into the code. Yeah, the watch window, I guess, would also let me do that. Yeah. Although then you have to delete it afterward. What was I going to say? Yeah, so here you see it's using 8.0.4. Like there's seemingly nothing different about this project. Yeah, the CS project is a match, but I checked even that. So there's a CS project over here. This compared to, compared to this one. Compare with a clipboard. So here are what the changes are. We got rid of this target framework condition here, which shouldn't have mattered at all unless it considers this to be iOS. But even then, it would have just used .NET 8, and it should be using .NET 8 to begin with. Yeah, and then the other changes are all superficial here. What am I working on? I thought the shop idea was going to be part of Idle Ascendance. Is this a standalone MVP? This is the evolution of Idle Ascendance. I should definitely clarify this in here. Yeah, what led to this? This game started as Idle Ascendance, designed and prototyped the whole thing in about 3 weeks, and incorporated feedback from the prototype. So the battling aspect from Idle Ascendance is still present in this game, more or less. Did I write the thing about battling giving you items and stuff? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, what is gameplay like? You run a shop and hire adventurers to do battle. The battles take place automatically, but you can upgrade the adventurers through your town or through their skill trees. Winning battles gains you items to sell in your shop. And yeah. You can use money to upgrade adventurers and your town. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so let's go back to this and let's keep searching for the problem that we see here. Because, yeah, this is taking... No symbols have been loaded for this document. C# VS Code debug. No symbols loaded. Hey, Joss. What is the problem? No one had a solution for that. Use debug Windows modules. You'll see a list of all the assemblies that are loaded into the process. Locate the one you want to get debug info for. Debug Windows modules. Are we even debugging this right now? Yes. Debug window. Is this a thing? I don't know where you'd even find this. It's just a console. Yeah, it's for Visual Studio, yeah. What else could be different between these two things though? Like I can't even think of where differences could be introduced. We have the same general structure. We have the same general versions of everything. I think most of this stuff is even the same. Settings, well, the settings don't matter, but launch was pretty much copy pasted. Tasks, I think, also copy pasted. Am I compiling in debug mode? Should be easy to check in the bin folder. I don't know, so let me go look at that. Where was it? Mono temp or something in Godot. I guess let's just open this. Game Godot mono temp bin. Yeah, it's debug. Man. What else could be different? C# debug Godot. Launch.json looks like this. Oh my God. Wait a second. I think I might know what's going on. Oh no. Oh my God. Well, I shouldn't say this so soon because I still don't have an explanation for how this would have only worked for Jump Royale because, but Godot 4, is this pointing the right thing? Yeah, I think this is pointing the right thing. Can we do a dash dash version on this? Yeah, this is correct. Okay, it's not that. Problem only with this breakpoint or anywhere. I think it's anywhere. I put it in the title screen for now, but well, I guess I don't even really have any other code. It's really just this. Maybe that's the issue here. Maybe if we opened up the game and made another scene or something. I don't know why that would be the case though. Yeah, I only have the one scene, I'm pretty sure. And that was a slight difference maybe with Jump Royale. I'm not even sure if that's true. Can I like make a new window here? Yeah, new window. What was the main scene considered? Scene, run. No, it ran arena. Okay, so it's the same general idea here. Is there anything here about, there can't be anything about .NET. I looked at the project.godot file. The only thing was the assembly name. And I have to imagine that there's an assembly name here too inside of that. CD game cat project.godot. Yeah, there's an assembly name in here too. Yeah. Config version 5. Yeah. Who knows? Is the renderer different? I don't know why that would matter. No, it's not different. Execute C# Godot, generate assets for build and debug. Generate. Replace existing build assets, yes. Did it work? Or would I even have seen this? C# maybe? You know, there is one other difference I think I could think of, which is I don't think Jump Royale used C# dev kit. I wonder if that's somehow getting in the way. No, wait, no. It probably is. I probably have it installed over here, right? Yeah, I have it installed still. I don't know. Okay, what else do they say here? Some info on the structure. Most important thing is type core CLR. I mean, we know this is working for Jump Royale though. When the program launches. Yeah, this is all the same. Huh. So bad. Such a waste of time. C# extension, open this, generate project files. I think this is already, I mean, we have the solution already. Configure VS Code. Oh, it generates launch and tasks for you? I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Interesting. So I probably just overwrote those files, didn't I? I didn't in this case. Well, this is the wrong code base that I'm even looking at. It did generate new ones. Wow, interesting. Huh. Oh, it added a whole bunch of things in here. There's now a watch command. Can I get to that through here? Core launch, net core attach. Maybe that was always there? Huh. It has the same project structure. It's just named differently. Jump Royale has another folder called Jump Royale underneath it, and Skeleseller has another folder called Game underneath it. So they just don't match in name, but that shouldn't be an issue. I didn't know about this, and I think this is worth writing in here, which is debugging. Also, I think you can just run, what was it called? .NET generate assets. Can I like copy? No, I do not want to do that. Yeah, fine. Generate assets for build and debug from VS Code to have it create launch.json and tasks.json for you. Could be a name mismatch with your Godot project having Skeleseller as a assembly name, but your project being called game and producing a library called game. Yeah, maybe you're right. I wonder if we just change this to say game. Problem is it might generate something totally new here, like a new CS proj file or something. Oh, that worked. Oh my God. Wow, bluff. Oh man. Whoa. All right, that's something else. I will also give Canhorn a point for that because that's pretty much the same suggestion. Wow. Wow. All right, we got to write that down too. Can't debug or can't set breakpoints while debugging. If you click in the gutter and get a gray in the VS Code gutter while running and get a gray breakpoint, then it's possible you're hitting an issue where Godot has the wrong assembly name in project.godot. For example, I had this structure, this folder structure, Skeleseller game project.godot. And originally, project.godot had, oh my God, we're gonna need to back out of all this stuff. When I changed it to game, it worked. Looks like the script loading error also went away. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, that's one way of doing things, is renaming this to Skeleseller. And the other way is, I guess, renaming this to game. I don't know what's going to happen if we were to just run this. So we didn't get any new... Ooh, what is going on here? Okay, yeah, I got to make sure I don't lose those. I didn't stash them correctly. I guess I couldn't have stashed them because they're new. But now what? Close this, don't save. Reload that, I guess. So if I hit play, is it going to generate a new CS proj? Because as long as it doesn't, I think we're fine. Yeah, yeah, Darkstorm, I don't think we need to rename game to Skeleseller. I think we can just change this one line and everything should work. Blub, I don't think I ever would have figured that out, by the way. Like, I think I shortchanged you by giving you just 1 point. Because I think I'm more inclined to go with this as the solution, Darkstorm, assuming that it doesn't cause any other issues. Although I guess now we know at least what the problem is. So how about this? I'll move forward to this for now. Let's go undo these other things that I did, like this and this and all of those I want to keep. Okay, so I want to now stash pop. All right, good. And now I want to debug the thing I was originally trying to do here. We're like popping off the stack by, I don't know, an hour or something like that. Probably about an hour. So in the title screen, all I wanted was a breakpoint right here. And I think this is null, and that's it. I just wanted to debug this. And then it took an hour and we got sidetracked. So if I press F5, hopefully we get that line. Good, perfect. Okay, now if I step over this, is this null? It's not null. So yeah, why is this failing then? We make the health component. Okay. Then we should go into add component. Good. That's not null. Yeah. Now we do a get no. This should be null. Good. So now we add in the component. Good. And then we make a new component node to wrap it. We add that. We add this to group. Yeah, what's going wrong then? Why when I go over to... Oh, I didn't launch... Oh, wait a second. There's no way to see the remote scene tree, is there? Ooh. Can I click the Godot thing here? Does that work? Open a scene to see a preview. Yeah, no, this wouldn't be the remote view though, would it? Oh man, I want to see the remote view. I don't think there's a way to do that. Yeah, it works as the right assembly is getting picked up. Yeah, now it makes sense. I just wouldn't have known. Wait, no, not found components. Where's this coming from? This, oh, is there, oh my God, I think there's get node or null. Oh my God. Okay, that's why. We're just bailing out of here. Wait, then why did it seemingly go forward? That doesn't make sense. Like now I think everything's fixed. Like over to here, we should have a components thing. Yeah, we do. Well, oh, also the name is wrong, but that's something we can fix. Yeah, what? That's very weird. I'm gonna set a breakpoint here. So this could be like a completely breaking thing. I want to test this one more time and make sure I'm not just going nuts here. So if I go over this line, it should fail. Yeah, it says node not found, and now it thinks I'm here, but I'm actually not. And if I weren't paying attention to that, which I wasn't, then it would look like we could just move on from this. But we're not actually here, are we? Maybe we are. Yeah, it should throw. And that's where I think this error is coming through. Why does it look like execution is continuing? I wonder if we just put a gd.print hello world here. Do we see this? Because I don't think we should. No, we do. Oh, it throws and continues? And then possibly components node has some like weird value in it afterward. I wonder how that part works. What is the value of this? Null. What? I don't get this. I don't get this at all. Yeah, it should be null, but yeah, it should then add the components node in, and we don't actually see that happening. Or maybe we do, and I'm also just totally losing it in a different way. Let me see. I'm making some assumption that's incorrect right now, and I'm not sure what it is. So I go over to here. No, it looks like it is there. Okay, yeah. Oh, all right. I don't know what happened then an hour ago that caused me to look into this. But yeah, this should be get node or null. All right, now we discovered another issue when we do this, which is when we add the component in, this should get the right name, and it doesn't right now. So this is something we should set here. I don't think we can use a primary constructor anymore, and I don't know what an easy way of converting this would be. This is kind of what we want, and then we want to say name equals component name. All right, now type component node already defines a member called component node with the same parameter types. That's this, right? So I think we just get rid of this now. And then we have to get rid of this too. Should not follow a property. Validate is not null. If it's null, we should just throw. Throw new illegal, is it a legal argument exception? Argument error? Argument exception. All right, but then this is the problem I don't understand. What is this? Is this just an ordering thing? I think it is. It's too bad that can't be automatically fixed. Null check can be simplified. How? Oh, sure. Okay. It returns null and logs an error. I see. Got it. Does the same without a log. Yeah. Okay, cool. So everything is now working, right? So if I go into this and I hit play, then we should now see the component with health on it. Yeah, good. There it is. All right, now we should test deleting it and everything too. All right. Oh, we don't have a deletion function. Also, I wanted to name this just ECS. I wonder, whoops, let's do it this way. ECS. Did this rename it in the entire code base, I wonder? It did, yeah. But now there's a problem with this. If we go to rebuild, that it says this name has to be different. I think that's what it's going to say. Yeah. And this I kind of want to just suppress. I kind of want to suppress this everywhere. By the way, Darkstorm, how do you feel about this? So if I don't have this here, if I just comment this out, then it keeps saying that we need to call dispose on an object created by this. This is like a very Godot specific thing. Godot will dispose it for us, and this doesn't know that that's going to happen. Are you supposed to instantiate node anyway? What do you mean? If we ever want to dynamically add things to the scene tree, I think we're going to run into this issue. I'm actually not sure. This should have been a problem over in Jump Royale as well. If we ever had add child. There. I guess we only did this in 2 spots in the code base. Jumper was here. And we call it instantiate because it's a scene. Yeah, so in this particular case, we didn't just add a new primitive ever. Unless maybe this one. Lobby tile map. Oh no, here we did. Yeah, why wasn't this a problem? Yeah, why didn't it complain about this? Did we suppress anything or did we do anything special with that error message? Because in here it's CA2000, so RGCA2000. Nothing special there. And in this one, oh, Wait, no, that's the thing I added. Yeah, why isn't that a problem? Maybe it's something about nodes specifically? No, but it wasn't just, no, maybe nodes. Yeah, what if I said this is a node 2D? Probably same issue. Probably same issue with everything. So why isn't it an issue with a tile map in the other code base? Oh, maybe it's the analyzer's a lower version and doesn't have this? Try this. Automatically dispose unused object. It's only here because we need to match the delegate even though the jumper is not required in the join command. Okay, I think that in this particular case, yes, using will try disposing it at the end of this, but we don't care if it gets deleted then. I think if we did the same thing in this code, it would get disposed as soon as we're done with that, and then Godot couldn't use it. So the problem here is like we're creating a disposable, but Godot should manage its lifetime. And the code doesn't know that. Or not should. The Godot does manage its lifetime. And the code doesn't know that, so it's saying to dispose immediately. And we need to work around that. So a using would basically say like a node here. It would say once we hit this, dispose the node. And we don't want that to happen. Disable this in source for now. I can check this after pushing. Okay. It's just not aware of it. Yeah. I think it's, I agree with Blub. I think it's better to turn this off, but there's one case then, which is if we ever have a disposable and we don't do anything about it, then I guess there'd be an issue. Also, isn't the whole point of disposable that C# knows when something goes out of scope and can call dispose on it? I don't know. All right, fine. I'm gonna put this at the top of the code base, or the top of this file at least. Does that fix this? Yeah. Okay, and then this I wanted to figure out. Name type, the type name ECS conflicts in whole or in part with another namespace. I think I just want to ignore this as well. Maybe you could call components node.dispose. The thing is, I don't want to dispose it. What I'm saying is we're creating something and then handing it to Godot, and Godot is going to use it to render in the scene tree. So when Godot is done with it, that's when we want to dispose it, and Godot knows how to do that. So that's the whole point here, is like we're not the one managing the life cycle of this thing. Kind of want to suppress this. Oh, wait. Oh, this is just that the file name needs to match this? Oh, that's not a problem. Oh, sure, fine. Rename the file then. Did that not do anything? Doesn't look like it did anything. Rename file. Yeah, this is not doing anything. Huh. Hey, Gazella. All right, well, let's just open this in Finder then and just change it there. ECS. Easy peasy. So now rebuilding this should fix that. How's the game coming along? Very slowly, and that's kind of to be expected. I find this to be true with a lot of projects, not just games, which is the first time you do something in that project, it's going to take much longer than the second or the third time that you do it. Unless the first time you did it, you cut a bunch of corners, in which case then you created tech debt. But yeah, we don't have any systems here. We don't have any precedents for doing this stuff. In Jump Royale, that one usage is on a class field. Here you have local variables. That's why I didn't complain there. Oh, I see. Yeah. Isn't Visual Studio more suitable? It probably is. I'd still like to use Visual Studio Code. Your class name has to change or the namespace. Yeah, but if the class name changes, then the problem that we run into is that it says that this doesn't use Pascal case. So it doesn't like that I've made it all caps here. So the only solution, I guess, to make nothing complain is this. Maybe there's a way to suppress for project. There is, yeah. It's a question of if Darkstorm's okay with that, which I think it's probably the solution we'll end up going with, but I'll just leave this here for now. And in fact, I'm going to write a note to myself that we're going to need to delete this at some point. Talk to GS about the pragma I added. For what, C8 2000 was it? Yeah, that one. Visual Studio for Mac is end of life. All right. I literally use the full name. The reason I don't want to use the full name here is because this is going to show up all over the place, and it's going to show up in ways of calling like add component. And so if we had this filled out as like, you know, entity component system or something like that, I think it would just be very verbose for something that shows up in a lot of spots. However, with that said, I'm not super tied to that, but let's see how that goes. Rename to the folder to this, then better idea. You mean this casing? Can't you add it to known acronyms? Is that a thing? I'm not actually aware. The C# has some like shortened. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. Namespace, entity, component system. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's fine. If I rename this here, does it update everything else? Entity, component system? No, it doesn't. Can I Command Z that and change it here? Entity, component system. Oh, okay. I guess it just doesn't change them both at once. There's rename. Yeah. Folder structure doesn't matter. Well, I think this should work, right? Let's just try running that. Do I have this open already? I do. Okay, yeah, looks like it's fine. Okay, so let's go and close out of everything. And then let's go make the thing I wanted to make originally, which is something in here. Close these things. Do I have any other crazy browser tabs open? Or yeah, this one. That's it for that. Close out of these things. Cool. Let's go add in some more functions. So remove components, has component, get first component. These are all definitely going to be needed. Did it actually rebuild? I assume so, because every time you click this, it says building.NET project. So yeah, I'm guessing that worked. What was I going to do? Go to ECS, yeah. This still has the wrong casing. I don't know why that's so nice to begin a fresh repo. You know, it is nice in some cases, but I feel like, well, maybe you were being sarcastic, but I feel like setting everything up is just always a pain. It doesn't matter. Yeah, well, it hasn't really mattered what language or anything else. It's like you need analyzers, you need formatters, you need testing, you need, I don't know, just a whole bunch of stuff that's like not the thing you're trying to build. And it's all super important for the thing you're trying to build, but, oh, okay, no, not sarcasm, yeah. Yeah, and so I wanted to get to the point where it's like, okay, let's start blazing a trail, making some of these systems. Oh, this looks super ugly. Man, there's no easy way to see both of these things. Like normally, if this were just me, I'd put this on my other monitor. In fact, you know what? Let's just do that. You don't really need to see this code. Yeah, there. All right. All I'm going to do is copy it over here anyway, and it's just going to be C# when I do it. All right. So public static void remove components. So this is going to take in an entity and a component name. All right, so first we need to check if this is null. If it is, just return. Otherwise, we're going to get the components node. And if that's null, then return. Otherwise, we're going to get the children. Wow, this already pretty much coded the whole thing. And if child is component node and the name equals that. This we don't need to do component.name. We can just do .name. In fact, we don't even need that. We could just do this. Then entity.remove from group and queue free. This is not correct. This needs to go down here. Yeah, and then somehow we got the same function twice. I don't know about that, but I think this code is now correct. Let me just check it over one more time. If it's null, just return immediately. Get our components node, make sure that exists. Yeah. We should probably make like a get component node that just encapsulates this code. I think that's probably worthwhile. Can you open the title screen? Is there an actual error? Yes. I now need to change. Wait, what? That shouldn't be a problem. ECS has some problems here, line 45. If child.name equals that, child queue free. And then ECS has a closing brace problem. Oh, just a blank line. Wait, where is that here? Oh, yeah. All right, so now why is this an issue? Could not be found. Health component thinks that it is in this, and this imported it from that. Components. What? Why is there an S there? Do I even need that? Can I just say component? Actually, just delete the whole thing and just have it recreate it for me. What did that say originally? Why is this? No. Something's wrong here. Oh, man. What is going on? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't think this ECS thing should even exist. RGECS. It's literally only in health component. So just delete that. But this, no, there it goes. All right, problem solved, question mark? Oh, man. Yeah, I think that did it. Okay, so here's what we're going to try. As soon as this thing is added to a health component or has a health component added to it, then, and I guess what I'm essentially doing here is writing out a test. The problem is that this uses Godot, but it would be nice to have this be properly tested, which would mean adding in a Godot testing framework and not just a unit testing framework. All right, well, whatever. String. Actually, I don't really care about the group name, do I? ECS.get group name. And this takes in a component name, and the component name is going to be the health component name. All right, so string, hey Trackley, group name equals this. And then we're going to get all of the nodes with a group name. So I think it's get tree dot get nodes in group name. And then just print this out, gd print nodes in group. Okay. So all this should do is print out something like, I don't know, there's an icon or whatever, or a sprite. I might have accidentally left a breakpoint in the code. No. All right, yeah, so there, icon. All right, so it knows that there is this. We're going to just call this private void testeroni. Right, we got to capitalize this. And we're just going to have this happen from here and then call this in a couple spots. All right, and then do this up here too. So basically, we have nothing in the group, then we add a component, we should have something in the group. I'm gonna run that too. Yep, good. And then we're gonna remove the component, and again, we should have nothing in the group again. So ECS.remove components. Done. Excuse me. Nice, it worked. Yeah. And if we go over to the remote view, I wonder if there's a way to debug from VS Code and still have it connected to the engine somehow. I guess you'd have to attach to a running instance, which might actually be possible. Yeah, so there's nothing in components anymore. Now it's important that we don't delete the components node. Actually, it's not really important, but I guess it's good to know that that node had components. I look more comfortable. I think it's because you got here somewhat recently. At the beginning of the stream, I'm like, how do I write a function in C#? But yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit better. So that was one extra function that we had here. Now we need, what, 2 more? Has component. So public static bool. It's a bool or boolean? I never remember. Has component. Wow, it already, wow, that's pretty much what I want. Oh, it was busy work, yeah. Static component. Wow, it knows pretty much everything I'm even trying to write here, except for I want to call this get first component. Yeah, there are a lot of nice VS Code updates. In fact, one of them is this, which I find amazing. If you type a % in the command palette, or you use the shortcut to go directly to this, then you can find in files. So like, let's say I knew I had a health component somewhere. I could search for health component, and then I could just press up or down to go through all the instances right from here without opening another dialog at all. So it's like, oh, I wanted the one on the title screen. There it is. Or if I want to go back to where I was used to, it's like, oh, here they are on the side. And that's amazing. I love that. Was that in GDScript and a factor in switching to C#? The unit test thing, so there was always the plan to switch to C#, and not being able to write them was more a question of how do you do it the Godot way. So let's say you have this code. This is purely C#. There is no Godot code here. We literally just have a name and then a couple of floats. So if you were to test this, I mean, there's really nothing to test because it's just storing values. But if you were to test this, you could do this purely in C#. As soon as you have a node, so for example, this, no, where is it? I don't remember what I even called this. There it is. Yeah, so this inherits from Godot's node. In order to test this now, you need Godot running, or you need to have fully mocked everything Godot is doing. And there is no full mock of everything Godot is doing out there right now. So you just have to have Godot running. So that's what we were trying to figure out. Yeah. That's why I was asking about it. And I did end up figuring it out. And so if anyone wants to know how I set that up, feel free to ask. Although I guess I posted it in Discord, so you could check there. All right, so does this just look good already? So check out the entities null. If it is, just return. That's totally fine. These shouldn't actually be node 2Ds, I think. I think they just need to be nodes. Yeah, I think we need to get rid of node 2D everywhere. In fact, let's just alt F3 and then just delete the node 2D part. There we go. All right, so we get the components node. If it's null, we return null. That's good. Otherwise, we check to see, is the child named that? If so, return the child component. Is that a good idea? Or should we return the node? Oh man, I don't know. What will code care about? It cares about the component. Yeah. So I think this is good. So what we could check here is if child, no, this is kind of fine. I guess it's proper though to do if child is component node and this, and that way we probably don't need this anymore. Yeah. Not used to x equals null comparison. Are you saying you just put a not null here or something? Because I'm not sure exactly how we'll end up using this yet. And I want to just make sure there aren't any issues. Okay, so now has component. What we could do is we could check to see if it actually has the component by calling get first component and seeing if that's null. Checking to see if it's in a group named after the component also works. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, so now if I'm not mistaken, we can try some of these as well. Let's do a gd.print has health component. Man, this is great. This should be the sprite though. And the sprite we don't have unless we do this. Okay, cool. So it should print false, true, false. Oops, I have a problem somewhere. Actually, hang on, go back a step. What happens if I click show errors? Does it just pop up this dialog or does it go somewhere else? Oh, yeah. All right. I guess they're both kind of the same. All right, what's the issue here? Possible null reference return. Node does not contain a definition for a component. But I put this here. There's some way of doing this where you cast and then you know inside the if statement what you have in C#. I don't know how you do that though. C# cast in if statement. As, that's what I want. Does that work? Child is component node. Oh, I see. And then we say this is like component node. I think that worked, but why didn't that delete any of these things? Okay, it built. Yeah, I got to take a break somewhat soon. I want to at least figure out these problems. I don't understand. I probably need some kind of annotation on this. Declare as nullable. Ah, there we go. I didn't realize. Okay. All right, now what's the problem with this? Parameter entity is not null. This, I guess we could just return, I guess we could return it as get first component of the entity and the component name is not equal to null. Yeah. Give me 1 sec. All right, there. I want to give to ABC a point. So is this working? So has health component false, has health component true, has health component true. Okay, this is broken, but not for the reason. Oh, this happened a long time ago when I was doing this with Jump Royale. Then we need to like clear out error lens every once in a while. Oh well. All right, so where's remove components? Because it's not actually doing this correctly. Entity.remove from group, get name. I don't think that's working because it seems to be that we're in the group even after removing the node. Has health component is still true. How is that possible though? That has component. It doesn't have it as a child. Maybe I called it the wrong spot. No, remove components. Huh. And yet we do this right. Oh no, we're not checking that way anymore. We're checking it through this. Give first component with that name is not equal to null. This is null. This, it shouldn't have any children anymore. What? Yeah, it doesn't. What's going on? I guess we'll just debug. It's the whole point of the debugger. All right. Okay, so in this one, we have this sprite. Can we get its children from here? We probably can. We probably just type it into here. Sprite dot what children or something like that. Sprite 2D does not contain a definition for what is it? Get children? There it is. Yeah. Okay, so it has components. I know about that. And so I want to get the 0th thing's children. Oh, and there is a node in there. What are you doing? I didn't see you in the Oh, it's queue free. Oh, it's only been queued up. It hasn't actually been freed yet. So we should probably just free this immediately. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, now I think everything should be fixed. Well, I gotta hit play. Nice. It works. Okay, it's break time. Hooray. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey again. Close the game. Hey, cheap. Oh, okay. We are making some good progress. So we have added in everything from ECS. And like there will be more functions I want to add eventually too. Hey, Katinga. What else? And hey, Two Dorks. Welcome in, welcome in. For those who haven't seen this sort of pivot that's been happening here, I was working on Idle Ascendance for about a month, and now we've pivoted to Skeleseller. So it's taking everything we learned from Idle Ascendance and some of the systems and putting it into a new game. Elastic Container Service, yeah, I guess it's sort of overloaded. Okay, so the problem is I'm not actually developing any real code yet. So it's like, we don't need any systems. We don't even need the health component yet. And another kind of small problem is, I guess, health component is just for life values. But we also probably want like a battle stats component, which would have all the other stuff, like power, fortitude, speed, I don't know. So Is there a need for anything else here? I don't think so. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think we can check this in. So let's go review it. First of all, why is this here? Oh, this can be reverted. This, what, did anything even change here? I don't think so. Just a new line at the end. Yeah, let's revert this too. This is a very, very important change and is a commit all on its own. Allow for debugging the game. The assembly name was wrong, which prevented breakpoints from working in VS Code. Yep. Okay, cool. So title screen, I added some stuff that I don't think we want to keep at all. Yeah, I think all of this code is just test code, so let's not check that in. But I think all of these things are probably pretty good. Yeah, so I got to fully review that. I think these other ones should be easier to review. Okay, let's just click this button. All right. Actually, that's dumb. Let's just open it up in its own thing. So ECS, what do we got here? Add component. Remove components. This is like remove all components by name. Maybe I can make that a little bit clearer. Remove all components by name. Yeah. Has component, get first component. I think that's fine. This could probably be made a little bit clearer. Actually, maybe I just put it as a thing here. So ECS related, or like, I guess I'll write it out. Entity component system. Provides entity component system functions, e.g. adding and removing components. So the way that this works is that each Godot node stores components in a well-known location. Yeah. Ooh, this wraps to a different amount. How do I change that? Rewrap wrapping column. Can I specify this in just C# and set this to 120? Does that work? Oh, it does. Okay, that's nice. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so that was ECS. We have everything here was new, so we want to check this over. This is the this is technically abstract, I guess. Can we say public abstract class? Is that a thing? Yeah. Yeah, base class for component, base class for all components. I'm not going to say what the name is. I don't think that matters. I wonder if it's worth saying, though, that... Where did I put the group name? Here it is, yeah. Oh, all right, component node. So this is going to be wraps a pure C# component in a Godot node so that it can be added to the scene tree. And then health component. It's kind of questionable whether this should even be checked in. Like, we're going to need this at some point, and that's just not being used yet. I think I'm going to check it in for now, and we can change it in the future if it needs to be changed. Yeah. So I want to check in these 4 things. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Everyone's using the captions plugin? Yeah. Well, I was using it because I wanted it to work for voice control. So for example, if I say check out the vocal streamer command, then I actually have a script listening for the things that I say, and it then outputs a command into chat based on that. So that's why I added it. I just commit as dummy component for later. Honestly, that's also not a bad idea sometimes for this stuff. Like, you know, later is going to be within the next week. But generally, I don't like committing code that is not used. But it's like, we know there's going to be health in the game. Like, we've definitely designed that. So add entity component system. Yeah. All right, now this I will push. Git push. There we go. So consider making this. We probably want component to be a C# class and not a node. But then we can make component node that contains a C# class and make testing easier. Need to think of where generics will make things easier, getting a component of a certain type. Yeah, that I didn't do, and probably we're going to want that at some point. Like we have get first component, it returns a component, but is there a way where we could say like, I don't know, like entity dot get component health component or something like that? And probably there is. What's the shortcut that you have? That's all stuff that you see happening from a spanso. So if you ever see me type an emoji, like that's a spanso. You see me type something like this, that's a spanso. Any symbols that I might use. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in here that I have. So, and it can also, it doesn't need to be triggered by an apostrophe. Like if I type MacBook without a capital B, or wait, no, with a capital B. I forget which one's correct. Anyway, if I type JavaScript all lowercase or somewhere here, I have some stylization changes. Maybe I didn't put them in for any of those. Get first component where T : component. Yeah, I think we're going to want to add something like that. And I'll just kind of write this down in my notes for now because I don't think it's probably needed yet. All right. So ECS changes this stuff. Cool. All right, now probably enable snap to pixel. That's a quick thing we can just do really fast over here by just searching for snap here and here. I don't think we need this. Vertices of canvas item nodes will snap to full pixels. Only affects the file. I guess we just turn this on as well. I think we had it on over here. If I just search for snap, that's frustrating. Project.Godot. Snap, yeah, we had them both set. Okay, let's just set them both again. I don't think there's going to be a problem with this. Generally, when you're making a game where you have sprite art, you don't want to have floating or subpixels because it can change the aspect ratio of your sprite, I think. All right, so we'll check that in. Just enable pixel snapping, 2D snapping. Yeah. Can you push from here if you haven't, you have things outstanding? Is that what this check mark does? Commit. Oh, yeah, there's push. All right, that's done. Okay, scene loader, assets. Okay, how about we go take a look at these assets? Let's see if they have everything we need, because there are a lot of these, I think. I don't know how you find them all, though. There it is. Contains Overworld RPG pack and 17 more. Well, we're not going to need all of these. But yeah, let's look through them and make sure that there's everything we need for the game that we're making. So this is the exteriors pack. So yeah, some kind of houses I think are fine. Although having Quickie Joe make those also wouldn't really be a problem, I guess. We have grass, we have water. We should have some kind of stone, yeah, pathways and stuff. I think this will all be great for the town. I was picturing of it more like a castle, I guess. But having it just be a town too is probably good. Yeah, trees and stuff. Yeah, this, whatever this stone tile is, I guess that's kind of what I was thinking about. Oh, nice. I didn't realize. So the free version just has this, and then the paid version has the rest? Okay. Build houses. Beach, trees, item. Oh, nice. They have some signs on these. I think our signs would probably need to take up like 2 tiles or something maybe, but we could figure out how to do that. I wonder if it's worth loading this into Godot and seeing how this looks. I guess as long as all the auto tiles are good, it should be fine. Okay, so sure, I think this one looks good. I like the style too. Where are the rest of these? Okay, so then there's Dungeon Pack. Oh, they've got animations in different facing directions as well. What happened to that slime when it went over there? Some weird looking glitch. Look at that. The red one goes over one more tile and then gets like messed up. Might just be a video artifact. We need enemy characters at some point. The stuff definitely looks good. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Winter pack, desert pack. I guess I'll just open up all of these. I don't know how many of these we want exactly, and the entirety of all of them is I think $50, which I think is pretty reasonable for the artwork. Okay. So let's see. Did I already look at this one? This is the dungeon pack. I already did look at this one. This is the winter pack. I'm not gonna look at all these too closely. I don't really think we need this. I don't think we're gonna do seasons or something. What is this one? Interior. I don't think we need interiors either. And maybe some of these, do they show which sprites they have? No, they don't. As I say, maybe some of these add things like books or pictures or something that might be nice, but don't really need to be used on the interior. What is this one? This is Overworld. I don't think we'll need this. But anything we have as extras could always be just kind of put into the title screen or something even. Add any of these to make them more castle-like. Yeah. And it's just a matter of like, is this a good enough foundation, I think. And I think this looks pretty good. What is this one? Dungeon Nature Pack. I don't think we probably need that. I think the total price of all of them, if I recall correctly, is like 95 and the bundle brings it to 50. So it might just be worth buying the whole thing anyway and not like mixing and matching to try to save, $3 or something. This is Dungeon Fire Pack. So I will say this is where I do like the original sprites that we had, and I hope that we can form something like this. So the original sprites were these Oryx ones, and I don't think they'd be compatible because I think the sizes are different. Also, the styles are different. But if you just look at this. So I like this idea of having these like sort of tiny instances, especially now that we're doing battles this way. But I suspect we could get this to work. Okay, so that's the fire pack. Now they have the water pack. Okay. Demo pack? What is this? What is... Demo provides a set of maps you can visit directly from your browser. Oh, Beepo, thanks for subbing. Welcome. So I'm surprised they didn't make this just playable. Yeah, okay. Oh, cool. When you say last video, you mean the post-Google journey? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Just making sure, because every once in a while I hear from people who are like, oh, I love that video you did, and they caught one from a month ago or something. Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to do sort of an easy video, and I feel like it's easiest to talk about that stuff because there's no research I have to do. It's just my own life. But a lot of the other videos I do, I'm like, is this correct? How do I present this in the best way? So this coming week on Tuesday, I'm going to have to think of what's the next video I do. And I don't have a great idea yet. Maybe I'll talk about some game design stuff. I'm not sure. All right, marketplace back. Okay, this is probably pretty key. In fact, this is a pretty good way of showing our different stalls that we have. Yeah. So there are item stands, I guess. We have things like books and stuff. We're almost done with this, by the way. We got like 6 more. I just want to look through and see what we're getting. This, it looks like just kind of more overworld stuff. And I know it says Oriental pack, but like, I don't see a whole lot more than this arch. Maybe the trees, I guess. What else do we have here? Did I open that twice? Exterior pack Odyssey. Character pack. Okay, this one is probably pretty important. So what do we have here? Okay, looks like a lot of kind of player characters. We need creatures at some point. And I don't see a lot of those. This is the front battle pack. I don't want to do front battles. So I don't think any of these are going to help. Yeah. What is this one? ARPG pack. There are some enemies, but really not a whole lot. Enjoy the format very much. Well, cool. Yeah, I'm glad. And I do think it would resonate with some people. I think it'd be hard to make every video kind of like that. And I'm sure, I mean, there's more editing I can do to make it more interesting. This is the farming pack. I don't think we're going to need this. This is gigantic tree, which I also don't think we're going to need. And this is water animation, which is nice to have. Okay, so yeah, characters are the only thing I think are kind of lacking from this. We don't have as many enemy characters as I would want in this pack. I wonder if this person has done any of that. They probably would have put it all into their into that bundle though. How do you go to maybe just this? Yeah, I think it's just those. Yeah, I'm a little torn on that because that was one of the things we. Oh, also items. What am I talking about? Also, I need to look at how many items there are. Yeah, I don't think items would be too crazy to make from scratch because we don't really need them to be animated, or at least not in any like sprite-based animation way. We could just rotate the sprite or something like that. Well, I guess that would involve making it more like a 3D model. But yeah, characters, I'm not so sure. There just aren't that many. 32 characters. Yeah, and in the sprites that we had, there were all of these, which was what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, so 18 times however many rows we have here. Anyway, at least like 200 characters, right? Yeah. Also, some of these characters, like, this looks like Santa Claus. I don't think there's much of a need for that in this game. And a lot of them are just palette swaps anyway. So the number of unique characters is not actually that much. And then, yeah, items-wise, I'm not sure what we had. Well, all right. We'll have to think about that. I'll need to talk to Quickie Joe about this. Yeah. I don't think items would be too hard to make, though. Also, I think the items we have might already be 16 by 16. I think they all use different tile sizes. Sliced items. Yeah, items are 16 by 16. And then it's just a question of like, did they match the style? So concerns are enemy characters and items. I think we can use the Oryx items though, since they're 16 by 16. Oh, nice, Balky. Yeah. Are you just starting as a developer as well, or are you already a developer and are just getting into games? Because I think there are a lot of things I've learned over the years, and I've tried to keep all these notes up to date. Like if you search through the game design notes, I haven't published these in about a week at least, but I wrote some things down that I thought were pretty good. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to game design is involve other people. And those people don't need to be professional game designers. Just needs to be someone who's enthusiastic and willing to bounce some ideas off of you. First year of software dev, gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I think my advice for someone in your position would be like just make games, not your dream game. And the reason why is because when you're building up your skills, I feel like if you started with your dream game, you'd have all these ideas and you'd be like, oh, I got to keep working on this and stuff. I think aim for maybe quantity over quality at first, and you'll just learn so much in doing that. Yeah, working on a team definitely does make a difference. But when it comes to game design, I don't even necessarily mean like hire these people or work with them. It's like just call a friend who's into games and then chat with them. And like I said, they need to be at least into the conversation. If they're like, oh yeah, sounds like a good idea, well, that's not as helpful. Hey, Cole and Q, good afternoon. Yeah, game jams are a great start. And actually, that's probably the easiest way of doing this because it's a well-defined set of time. They usually have a theme, they have other people doing it. It's easy to motivate yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And starting with the basics, really good too. I just mean don't jump from, I think the typical route is like nothing to the basics to like some games to something else in here, and then eventually a dream game you want to make. And who knows how big of a section this is. But I think a lot of people go right from nothing to trying to make a dream game. And it's like, that generally doesn't work. It'll generally lead to disappointment. I myself probably started that way and I'm like, I want to make a game like Zelda. And it's just a very daunting task. All right. So I did want to look at artwork for a bit, and we've done that. This I can mark as done. So we got to make a little bit of ECS changes, sure. The scene loader is probably going to be pretty important. More tasks for Darkstorm. Repo some assets. I guess I'd need to buy these assets pretty soon, so I can't do too much. We could use the old assets for now. It's nothing to WoW too, yeah. I think a lot of people really do pursue it that way, though. Like, oh, hey, I want to make the next World of Warcraft because I'm playing World of Warcraft and I like it. That sort of thing. Don't start anything new and immediately fulfill your dream scenario. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so too. I think other things have a shorter learning curve, maybe though, than game dev sometimes. So it's like if you were learning, I don't know, how to make jam or something like that, that probably doesn't take longer than like a few months to learn how to do pretty well. But yeah, trying to make games, I think, can be like a decades long process for some people. So I think this is probably what's pretty important. Darkstorm, if you're there, are you working on something right now, or do you have an idea for tasks? Because I know I assigned a couple and I think you got them done already. And I want to make sure you're not blocked on me. So let's go take a look at this. Yeah, there's nothing in progress right now, and I didn't even take something for myself. All right, continuous integration. I mean, this could be a task that I add. I guess like candidates here could be CI. What else? What else? What else? This is probably something I'll do today. Hoping by being able to program anything over the summer, make my GitHub look good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think game dev is a good way of starting that because so much of it has been covered by YouTube tutorials and resources out there. And it's also very visual. So it's like if something messes up, you typically at least know how it's messed up. Maybe not how to fix it at first, but then you can go from there. Yeah, I think I want to do this today. So how do I do this again? Iteration, current, and assign to me. Okay, and then this should pop out of here, right? I guess it doesn't. It's just in the backlog. I guess I'll put it in ready. I don't know, that really makes sense. I like the like working on it now and then sort of up next kind of thing. Wanted to tackle the battle system, but your ECS changes it completely. Yeah. Well, so I have this question here, like what would you want to work on exactly? Content, systems, UI, prototyping. So for example, I wrote, could tackle the shop stuff, could be prototyping some things, Mostly systems. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think what's probably a good idea to do then is like battles should be one person at first, and then like shop stuff should be the other person again at first. Eventually, we'll just kind of swap around and do stuff. And so when it comes to the shop system, I haven't fully figured out what it's going to look like. And it wasn't until I made that stupid little, quote unquote game yesterday that I kind of realized something. Where is it here? So this had, a little skeleton moving to different coins and then just collecting them and then going to another coin. And I thought, it'd be kind of nice is if you had your character in Skeleseller actually going around, like picking up the items, bringing them to the shop. What if your adventurers, when they come back, so a battle, they take a portal back to your storeroom maybe, and then just dump all of their items on the ground. And then you have these like skeletal helpers, skele helpers, and they pick up the items and sort them, restock the shops, etc. So yeah, I'm not totally sure how this would work. Yeah, the organizing though would be they just do this automatically. Like again, just yeah, imagine items just spew onto the ground. Maybe there's even some physics system where they kind of move around a little bit, but then your characters pick them up and put them into like the display stands in the back. Get new skill helpers when adventurers die. I don't want there to be permadeath, and I think the only way to do that in a way that makes sense would be permadeath, where like okay, your adventurer is dead for good, and now it turned into a skeleton just like you did. Yeah. But I think that has some kind of twisted incentives there of like raise your adventurers and then make sure they die at some point. Yeah, I don't think I want to go that route. Anyway, the battle system is the other big thing. So yeah, I guess Darkstorm of those two, which is more interesting? And I guess you already kind of answered the battle system. I think there's quite a lot to the battle system. And so we'd probably want to simplify it at first. But anyway, if that is the route you want to go, battle system, I can start to sort of delegate some tasks through that. Let's see, create the building system, create item selling system, create customer system, allow for hiring new adventurers, create battle system for checkpoint number 1, skill tree, sound effects, music. Yeah, so I think what I'd probably start then would be these three things. Building, item, selling, customer. I want to start with that so nothing will block. Yeah, okay, cool. I will plan that then. So battle system, come up with the starter tasks. And then for me, it'll be items, shopping, building, I think. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'll try to figure out at least. So that's going to be this task, create the battle system for checkpoint number 1. All right, so let's assign this to Darkstorm. Why doesn't Darkstorm show up unless I have to type something? But why? Like there are only 2 people I can assign this to. Strange. I don't know. All right, that's it. Assign to Darkstorm. Assign it in the current iteration, I guess. I'm not really focusing too much on iterations. And then I guess we'll put this in the in progress thing. Interesting. All right, great. Yeah, let's look at this. All right, intended to be a very simple battle system for checkpoint 1. There will be more tasks for future checkpoints. Should probably be split up before tackling any of these tasks. I guess I'll just write, feel free to split this issue into multiple if you want. All right, so allow for forming a party by clicking a portal. This assumes that you have an adventurer, and we won't even have adventurers at first. So I guess just start the player with some adventurers. And the party system isn't actually necessary. So maybe start the player with 2 adventurers. Rogue and, well, it doesn't really matter who. Yeah, a rogue and a warrior. Okay, so when clicking a portal in town, I guess just put a portal in town. It doesn't have to be the final incarnation of a portal. It can just be a sprite that you can click. All right, when clicking the portal in town, have your, or like teleport your adventurers into the dungeon. It can be whatever setting you want for now, forest, etc. Yeah, the dungeon should have a series of 2 to 3 rooms laid out in a linear fashion. Focus directly on the battle, not the entire full scenario. Oh, okay. All right, then let's back out of this. Okay, so let's think of what the battle system really is. It's I guess there's kind of 2 parts of it. At a high level, it is the dungeon itself and managing the rooms, and then it's an individual battle within those rooms. So I guess we're probably talking about this. And so then individual battles would be something like the characters using abilities as they're ready. Want to get the entity versus entity working. Yeah, so the individual battles, yeah. Characters using abilities as they're ready. So it's like managing the cooldowns on those. Eventually animations and feedback on the abilities. So projectiles, animations, damage numbers. Well, some of this is eventually. Some of this isn't needed at first, but we probably want damage numbers at the very least. And the only ability we'll have at first is a debug one that does some amount of damage. Does say 10 damage every time. Eventually it's going to be managing stats. Managing stats. Yeah, I think it would just start though as dealing damage and then eventually win and loss conditions. Setting up teams and grids in the battle so that we have a good foundation for handling this. Okay, so positioning the characters and finding targets for abilities. Yeah, so I think this is kind of what we'll have. This isn't probably needed too much. Having more power should do more damage. I like the scaling that we had from Idle Ascendants for this. Yeah. Okay. So let's turn this into a task then. To create the battle system for the checkpoint. How do you take turns here? So the turns, did I actually write turns? No. It's gonna work like how Idle Ascendants does in, I guess, only on my machine. Let me go to that. Where's Idle Ascendants here? So there is no concept of turns anymore. It is purely when an ability is ready, it gets used. So Fire Blast got used, Fire Blast got used again, and now eventually these other skills will be off cooldown and they'll just get used immediately. So it's not turns, it's just cooldowns on the abilities, and you do have the Idle Ascendance code, but I'll bring this up. So each ability. Oh, Endurin, thanks for resubbing. And how's it going? So each ability, here's probably the only ability you'll be making at first, which is debug attack ability. This is like dead simple. We have a concept of power scaling that you don't have to code at first. We have like a way of setting up the ability system. Again, you could kind of just shortcut your way through this a little bit. But then this is the important part of the ability system, is like what happens when you use it. And there's going to be quite a lot to this eventually. So for now, it was like, well, we have a way of picking targets, and each character just needs to know, do I want an enemy or an ally when I do this? So here we're picking one target that is an enemy of the character we pass in, and then we go through that one target and we deal damage to that. So yeah, this is the system we're going to eventually want, at least something similar to that. Show life bars. Dungeons have a series of 2 to 3 rooms. Make the battle itself. Yeah, so this is where we would get these tasks. And I'm gonna write this in here. For the battles themselves here are the sorts of things I would consider. Characters using abilities, manage cooldowns on those. Feedback, eventually managing stats. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think the first thing would just be splitting off enough of this, kind of planning a path through this. Yeah, I think Idle Ascendance is a good foundation for everything except for what I just said, which is this new cooldown system. So it's like, clearly there's no, you don't click buttons anymore. I think that part's obvious enough, but everything else is practically the same. Yeah. Got an idea? Just forgot about the cooldown thing. Yeah. Yeah. So that should be good. And then, yeah, I'll tackle something in here. And I don't know exactly what we want to do for this yet. May need to design this first. So I think this first, then maybe some of these ECS changes. And then we don't actually have the assets yet. Yeah. Okay. It's going well, Endurin. I had released the prototype for Idle Ascendance, and it turned into this game that we're making, Skeleseller. And this FAQ has a decent amount about it right now. But yeah, we are still kind of working through some foundational code. So yeah, I think the next thing I'll do will be the scene loader. And then I think we need to design this a little bit more. And at some point we're going to need graphics, and these graphics are probably going to get deleted from the repo eventually. I don't think I'm going to use a Git submodule for this stuff. I just think it'd be more annoying to manage. So yeah, where do I want to start with that? Backlog. I think we should start with the NPC customers. I think that would probably be the best. They can walk around and they can buy some items, and the item stuff all just exists from the beginning. Yeah. And that would mean splitting up the screen correctly too. Hey, Zine. Also, I don't remember, did I pronounce your name that way originally? Or was it Jean? Did I ever? I never wrote it down. Yeah, let me know how you want your name pronounced. Last time I saw you was before you were going to apply to bigger tech companies. How'd that go? You still working there? Yeah, so I've got everything, an answer to all of your questions in that command. I got a new ring. Yeah, my other ring was kind of tearing. They're just silicone bands. They lasted for about, I don't know, a year and a half. This is my second silicone ring, and I've got like 3 or 4 more. Very cheap way of lasting for a bunch of years. I pushed everything from ECS. I believe so. There's not a lot there. Yeah, I think it's been pushed. Let me go take a look. And hey, Monadic Bind. It's going well. I'll show you the new logos in just a sec. Let me just make sure this made it here. Yeah, it looks like it did. Where's the other history? Yep. Cool. Yeah, so logos, I'll show you really fast. The original mock-up we had was this one, and I thought the skull was a little bit spooky, so one of these other ones is going to get used. Yeah, I think an ECS for this makes sense because we've got differences between players and enemies. We've got the like I guess not just enemies, but like NPCs as well. I like 2 and 6. Yeah. I think those are the most popular ones. The upper rightmost one and the bottom rightmost one. And I like them both. I think they're good. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we start with the customers. Where did I write that down? Create the customer system. Here we go. Okay, so this I'm going to assign to me and put it in the current iteration. And then we're going to go to current iteration and say, actually, I guess I'm not working on it yet. I guess they're these things I'm going to be doing. Well, let's see what this task actually is. Allow for NPC customers to show up. There should be some chance for this to happen. There should be a maximum number. Customers should spawn with some amount of money and maybe a shopping list. I guess we'll start with a some amount of money part. Wander around, purchase based on their available money. When customers are bored, they leave town. Yeah. So make sure to add a state machine for the customers. Consider how this will work with the entity component system. And then I think we'll just start with like bake the buildings / shop / items for now. There should just be some number of potions with random prices displayed somewhere in the world that customers can go to in order to purchase. Then after one is purchased, it could get replaced in some amount of time. All right, is this the entirety of what we need though, or is there anything else? I don't think we even need this. I think the final task will be file any follow-up work that will need to be done. All right, so buildings and items. We're going to do something like that mock-up that I had. Where did the mock-up go? Yeah, something like this, where there are going to be item displays and then prices above them. And NPCs will just wander around. And maybe they don't even do this with collision or anything at first. Do we want to make them wander around cardinally? I guess that doesn't matter either. We'll just get some basic systems here. And then, yeah, they'll walk over to an item. If they have enough money, they might buy it. They might kind of wander away. And then eventually they just leave through a portal. And that's going to be the first system. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. So the question that I had was, how do these items get to be on these tables? Hey, APX. Yeah, just in time too. I'm probably going to take a lunch break somewhat soon. How do these items get to be on these tables? And the system I kind of talked about somewhat recently today was, what if you had multiple skeletons working for you and they had to go get the item from the storeroom and put it back out here? Maybe, like, I like that idea. I don't want you to just constantly have items out. I feel like you should have to get them there, but walking to the storeroom and then walking back wouldn't be too crazy. Oh, you know what? You know what could be the case? Maybe the buildings serve as a sort of cache. for the items. So like your character, there are these 3 display tables here, but imagine there are also 3 tables in the room in here. And so if those tables are filled, your character can just walk into the store, take it, and put it back out here. And that's like very fast restocking. But if they aren't here, then your character would need to walk to the storeroom and then put them into this table. So it's essentially like caching items. I don't think that would actually work with the graphics that we were looking at. Because we had, what was it? There was like an item selling thing. Where is that? Marketplace pack, something like this. Yeah, you could imagine these stalls sort of being each vendor that we have. And I like this a lot. But then you'd have tables outside with the items that they could buy. And then I guess like, yeah, your storeroom or something. It wouldn't really make sense in this case because you'd need space inside and you wouldn't be able to see it. Add a pushable cart. Yeah, I think a cart could be interesting if restocking was tedious. I think it'd be hard to explain why your cart can only be used for some items and not others, maybe. I don't know. There are lots of ways we could do this. So, yeah, how do items get restocked? When I'm adding cosmetics. I don't know if cosmetics will really be a thing, but hey, have to. So option number 1 could be each store has its own like dedicated person and only that person can get the items. Well, I'll just write them as ideas. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive. Idea could be each store has a cache of items somewhere. And when that cache is empty, the person stocking items has to go to the storeroom. Another idea could be you just have generic workers who stock things wherever they're needed. Do you have to pay them a wage? I don't know. You have to pay the adventurers. Yeah, would you have to pay the Skella helpers? Maybe they work for room and board. And so you just need to buy them houses. Idea, you need a house for each helper that you have. Then they work for free. I kind of like this idea. You have generic workers who stock things wherever they're needed. So your blacksmith and your alchemist, like a worker might decide, you know what, I'm going to go stock something for the alchemist. And they do that. They need a dieable wage. If it's not dieable, it's not viable. I think I want to go with this. Yeah, although it might look a little strange that you have these storefronts that don't actually have anybody at them. Maybe we have special graphics for the people who are at them. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't even work or make sense. Helpers need to earn experience to level up so they don't put items in the wrong shop. I think if they do put them in the wrong shop, there need to be a way to correct that. But yeah. Is this the same thing you linked me the other day? Have to. Yes, okay. I feel like I should just stop laughing at it because I'm gonna get this linked every single time. Yeah, I like the idea of them having to manage items though. And I like that that's another aspect that you could eventually tweak by, I don't know, your skeletons move faster or you get more skeletons. Because this is the shop mode is essentially one big producer consumer problem. And at any point there's going to be a bottleneck, either in item acquisition or in item restocking This is like running from the storeroom to the shop front. This is battling to win items. Or in customer acquisition, customers entering your town, or in customer like wallets, customers having enough money to buy. So somewhere here, you're going to get sort of stuck and you need a way to upgrade whatever you're getting stuck on. And I don't know if it's a fun thing to get stuck on restocking. Like you have the items, you have the customers, but they're not actually where they need to be. But I guess that's what we need to figure out because, yeah, I didn't prototype this part. So we're just kind of running blind here. The battling part, I think, will be fun. And I think it'll be easy enough to figure out how to balance that. And yeah, customer acquisition and their wallets, I think is fine too. I don't know about this part. Like if you only had one skeleton and every time you sold an item, it had to run all the way to the back room and then grab an item and then come back. Whatever. This is how we're doing it. Yeah, this is how we're doing it. That's how we'll do it at first. We'll see how that goes. So NPC customers, they spawn some money. Where's the item part about they respawn or replace? Replace. Yeah, this. Okay, so at the end, add the system where you have Skella helpers and they restock your items from the storeroom. I like this as a starting design for the shop system so that there's another aspect you can tweak, e.g. skeleton speed, carry amount, number of skeletons, etc. Yeah. You have a problem with ECS, it has to be generic. You can't access the props. What's the problem? Oh. When you say generic, you mean like C# generic, right? Because you wanna like get component, health component kind of thing. Because right now you technically could still do this with casting, right? But yeah, I think just add in the generic function to do that then. Why ECS? Is it mature? So the way I kind of looked at this is in Idle Ascendance, we ended up with a decent amount of code that was like exclusive to a particular class. So I feel like classes become dumping grounds, or you have like child nodes acting on parents with assumptions made. I don't know. This is what happened, by the way. Casting is generally bad. I was just saying if you need a quick way to move forward, you could do that. But yeah, if you want to add in the generic function, you can do that. If not, I can do that. That's fine. I don't mind. Although then it would probably take an hour. Probably PR this first. Okay. Yeah, so the way I kind of looked at it was you can put these chunks of functionality into a component, and I prototyped this ECS prototype. Where is it? This, yeah. So I prototyped it with this little game. I shall show you. Did it, I think you mean evolve into the name of the game? Yes, Skeleseller is the name of the game. I'm excited about it. I think it's good. Where's the ECS prototype? Yeah, so I'll show this monadic bind. This is something I made yesterday to just kind of try this out. It's not really a game, it's just a demo of the ECS that I made. But the way it works is there's a skeleton that's walking around to different coins and a slime that's chasing it. And when the slime hits it, it does 1 damage. It makes the skeleton invincible. And when it takes 2 damage, it just gets reset to some random position. And so that's it. Like you've already seen now the extent of what's going on here. And so the code for this, I think, works pretty well. We have the skeleton, for example, it's got a can get coins component, a health component, and then it can add a nav component to itself. So that the skeleton itself is like very minimal code. And then these components can contain all the information that's needed. I mean, I know you know what an ECS is. I guess this isn't really helping an explanation here. Yeah, so the nav component is just like, hey, we got a target, we got a speed at which we move to the target. And then a system that will control actually moving this stuff. So yeah, I think this will be helpful with the characters and with the requirements that we have for this that I'm thinking about. Yeah, at some point I'm going to have to add assets into the game. I guess that's actually the very first thing we need to do is add some assets into the game. They don't need to be the final ones, but we need something visual. Okay. By the way, I'm purposely not starting this yet. I'm going to be taking a lunch break soon. That's why it seems like I'm just stuck planning. It's not actually that I'm stuck or anything. It's just I have very little time left, so I don't want to start something new. Actually, the scene loader isn't even technically needed at first. We can just run this in its own scene. We can skip this at first. Just start in the town scene. Don't even worry about battles showing up yet. Yeah. In fact, that should go here. And then make a town scene. It doesn't need to show battles, and we don't need to worry about switching to it. It can just be a scene that we run to test out this code for now. Add a couple of ECS systems for my game for some subsystems that needed it. I see, yeah. Oh, the ECS that we're adding for this is just one built specifically for this. So right now, here's all that we have for it. It's just some static functions to add components or remove components. And the way I decided to do this, I don't know if you'd find this interesting or not, but each character gets a components node under them, which is like a well-known spot where components will go. And then you can actually just see the components right there in the scene tree. And so I felt like if you're looking at this and you're like, huh, how much life does my character have? You could just see it right in the inspector. And that's essentially all this class needs to do then is figure out like, okay, where am I adding this component? Yeah. And I was debating like, should I make a components node that keeps them in memory? And like that could work too. And felt like this could be good. All right, I think we're good. I think we skip this for now. Yeah. And I think it's just going to be the selling stuff. All right, let's go back to that project and assign that that's going to be my task. This progress. Yeah. Yeah, could have components as resources. And I'd been thinking about that too, because then they wouldn't show up in the node system and you need some like special inspector thing for them probably. And that could work. Yeah. But I felt like as long as all that's encapsulated in that ECS class, it could always just be changed in the future. In fact, maybe we do different things based on whether it's a debug build or a release build. So Darkstorm, I have an important question for you, which is, will you be here for the afternoon stream? Because well, anyway, I'll just wait for the answer. Yeah, okay, cool. Then yeah, then there's nothing to really worry about. I was gonna say, if you're not gonna be here, I think any changes I make to the entity component system could break you. Unfortunately, there's no maturity in the code base yet. We have very few files. So, well, let me go to the game and do a tree there. This is literally all we have for the entire game so far. So, very hard to not step on each other's toes yet. All right, I'm going to get going. I'll be back in about an hour, and we're just going to pick up with some of the coding for this stuff. But it's been going well so far, so I'm pretty happy. Hope you've all been enjoying, and I hope I see you in the afternoon. But if not, have a good weekend. And yeah, take care, everybody. See ya.